were some of your early influences as far as like from a family standpoint?
My dad had a machine shop from the time I was born all the way to current date, and we were partners in one. Every weekend for me, if I wanted to hang out with my old man, because he worked 6 days a week, it was like I would go to school, and then I would get out of school and either get to go skateboard, or I would go over to my dad's shop and I would load parts and run machines, and ran manual machines. And later on in my teenage years, I started running CNC machines. And the one thing that was really cool about growing up there is he had these freaking bikers that worked for him. And these guys were like hardcore real bikers. They weren't faking it. These dudes lived that life, and they were 1%ers. These guys had patches, and they were actually pretty cool to a little kid that was hanging around the shop, and they'd mess with me a lot, and always leave beers in the fridge for me. They were pretty cool. Those guys, I mean, just when you're a little kid, my old man was pretty straight. These guys were just a totally different world to me. I mean, these dudes were like genuine badasses, and I'm this little kid getting to hang out with all these badass dudes that are wearing frickin' knives on their belt and got swastikas on their frickin' motorcycle gas tanks, and I had no idea what any of that shit was, but I knew I wanted it, man. I knew I wanted to be like them. Luckily enough, I got a lot more of my dad in me than I do that kind of a personality, because my old man's pretty cool. He was a solid dude. He was able to get to the age of 75 so far without really fucking anybody over or having to live like a punk. He's always lived his own way and been able to make a living and always provided for his family, and that's probably the coolest thing there is.
What schools did you go to growing up?
Started out my school career at a Catholic school. Was asked to not come back after the first week of third grade. I managed to hang in there for 2 years, but they'd had enough of me by then, so my family was pretty involved in the church, so we had to move. We moved from Ontario to Upland. May have been a planned move. I don't know if it was directly related to the fact that my school no longer wanted me to attend, but got released into the public school system, which was awesome. I liked it a lot more. Got to ride my skateboard to school every day. It was only a couple blocks away, Magnolia Elementary School, and graduated from there on to Pioneer Junior High, Upland. A couple of solid members of society have gone through the Pioneer Junior High and Upland High School system that I went through. Corey Miller, tattoo artist, a bunch of really good skaters that hung on a pipeline went there. It's always kind of a thing with the pipeline skate crowd. It's like, cool kids all seem to go to Claremont High School, but I guess you can't have everything.
Well, that's where I went, so
yeah.
You can't have it all. I'm living proof. So did you hang out with Corey a lot when you guys were younger?
He graduated with my sister, and she was 4 years older than me, so it's not like I hung out with him a lot. I mean, he was a couple years older than me. It wasn't until I got a little bit older and started hanging around the tattoo shops that we actually hung out a bit.
So how did you get into the bike building thing?
I started building my first Harley when I was 17. I was working at my dad's machine shop. Rode a motorcycle to school every day. I got a bike because I was in such a hurry to grow up, and I spent so much time out running around trying to find skate spots that when I turned 15, it's actually the day I turned 15, I went down and took the test to get my learner's permit. Because you can ride a motorcycle by yourself if you have a learner's permit. So I think I had to take the driving class, like the book course. I took that a few months before I turned 15. Man, I was ready. I couldn't wait to get it over with and be out on my own and run around. I didn't want to leave my family or anything, but definitely wanted the freedom, so got my first motorcycle. And, that was my daily driver, got me back and forth to school and to the skate park and to work.